Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Thank you for the honorable educators, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dion. I'm from Sman Negeri 1 Ohio, North Konawe. I want to tell my telling about is Pinocchio. A long time ago, there lived an old man called Geppetto. He had no family of his own. Geppetto was a carpenter. He loved to create stuff from wood. One day, he thought to make a puppet out of wood. He said, "I will make a little boy and will call him Pinocchio." First, Geppetto made some wooden legs and arms. After that, he made the body and he included hands and feet. Finally, he made a little boy's head. Geppetto made Pinocchio eyes, mouth, and nose. After that, he made his ears. Geppetto worked throughout the day and night on his wooden puppet. From out of the window, a big star twinkled bright. Geppetto looked out the window to the twinkling stars. "Bright stars, I wish Pinocchio were a little boy," said Geppetto. But of course, he knew that was impossible. That night, the same big stars swooshed right into Geppetto's room. It changed into a blue fairy. The blue fairy flew over to the bed. A fairy heard Geppetto's wish. She decided to grant his wish and make the wooden puppet come to life. She said to Pinocchio, "In the morning, you will be able to walk and talk like a real boy." She tapped the puppet one time with her wand. "You must promise to be a good and honest boy." When Geppetto woke up the next morning, he said, "I will go to take my puppet out of bed." But the bed was empty. "Here I am, father," said Pinocchio from the other side of the room. Geppetto swung around. "What? You can talk?" "Yep, I am Pinocchio, your boy." Geppetto was very happy to hear Pinocchio talk. He loved his wooden son very much. Geppetto smiled. One day, Pinocchio said, "I want to go to school like other boys." "Of course," said Geppetto, but he did not have the money to buy school books. Later that day, Geppetto came back home with school books. "Now you can go to school with all the other little boys." At school, Pinocchio saw that all the other children had their arms and legs. They were not made of wood. He was different. When Pinocchio went to school, he heard a man shouting, "Come in, ladies and gentlemen, come and see puppet show. On stage was a puppet show." "I am puppet too," said Pinocchio. "I can dance like that." He jumped right onto the stage and started to dance with other puppets. "Look at the new puppet," someone called. "It has no strings." "No strings?" said another. "Amazing!" Everyone laughed and laughed. They threw coins on the stage. Pinocchio didn't like school. He didn't like doing his homework. He became disobedient. He used to skip school and play with his friends all day. When Geppetto found out of his naughty, he was so angry. "Did you miss the school all the time?" he asked. Pinocchio didn't tell the truth. "No, father, I always study in school every day." He lied instantly. His wooden nose began to grow long. "Are you telling me a lie?" Geppetto asked with puzzled frown. "No, father, I'm telling the truth," he replied, and his nose was getting longer. The blue fairy came and asked Pinocchio why he always told lies. The fairy told him that every time he lies, his nose will get longer and longer. Pinocchio promised to be a good boy next time. But in a little while, Pinocchio forgot all his promises. I don't want to study anymore. I want to have some great adventures, he thought. So, Pinocchio decided to leave home and join a circus. However, Pinocchio soon realized that life at circus wasn't fun at all. He worked all day and he stopped going to school. His ears now had become 2 large chunky ears. Pinocchio regretted his decision to leave home and missed his father so much. Then one day, he heard the bad news that his father was looking for him. And now he'd been swallowed up by a giant whale. Pinocchio ran away from the circus and went to rescue his father. Eventually, Pinocchio could find the giant whale. But when the whale saw him, it swallowed him as well, inside of its belly. Pinocchio saw his father. "Father, it's me, Pinocchio!" he shouted. They were so happy to see each other. "I've got an idea to get out of here, father," said Pinocchio. Then he began tickling the giant whale's stomach. As soon as it opened its mouth and was going to give a big sneeze, Pinocchio and Geppetto made their way to get out the whale. In the end, Pinocchio and Geppetto got home safely. The blue fairy was so happy with Pinocchio's courage. As a kid, she magically turned Pinocchio into a real boy, a human. Since that day, Pinocchio always kept promise and never missed school again, and they both lived happily ever after. That is the end of my story. Thank you for attention. I hope you all enjoy it of my story. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.